show, even if we get to the COVID normal,
Yep.
what are the chances of it ticking back up?
I think that when you get to the point of having driven case numbers down to very low limits, if I can, just give me 1 minute and I want to put a bit of background behind that, Mark. These numbers are our targets. These are our aims. It could be that the tail of this virus is more stubborn, the tail of this second wave is more stubborn than even some of the most rigorous and robust modelling that's ever been done in our country outlines. That's why, second point, is each day the actuals always beat the assumptions you've programmed into a model. The data, the real data, actually always trumps the model that you've built. Even a complex, robust model that with 1,000 different inputs run multiple times by not one university but in fact two. So that's where we want to get to. Whether that's achievable, that's a matter for every single Victorian. Whether we get tested when we've got symptoms, whether we follow the rules, whether we all keep working as hard as we can to track and trace and test, whether we continue to see outbreaks, for instance, like the Coal Lake one. No one wants 25 or 30 cases in any town, but it was pounced on and it was shut down. Could have been many, many more cases, and I congratulate everybody involved in that, from the community all the way through to the regional public health team out of Barwon Health. The notion that if we had just a few cases once we had got to that normal and we were fully open, and that would trigger lockdown, that's wrong. That is not the strategy. That is not the strategy. New Zealand, as I said yesterday, the elimination strategy is not just about getting down to zero, it's staying at zero. And if you get one case or two cases or 5 cases, that's your equivalent of having 50 or 100 cases over multiple days. This is about suppressing it, but in order to keep the numbers low, you have to get them very low. That just stands to reason. And that's why the modelling tells us, and it was modelled at 3, 5, 10 and 25. If you opened at 25, the chances of staying open for very long are very low. However, no one should be in any doubt, and I want to be as clear as I can be. We will have cases. We will have outbreaks. And they will be a feature of 2021 or until we get the ultimate fix to this, and that's obviously a vaccine. But 1 or 2 cases provide, and that's the thing. Once you get it down really low, you can, with great confidence, plan to keep those numbers low. And an outbreak of 5 or 10 or 20, you can pounce on that really quickly. You can contain it, and without having to go to measures that cover everybody. It's a much more targeted approach. But if you're chasing 500 cases a day, you really can't do that. No contact tracing team in the world, no matter how big, could, without imposing rules that cover everybody, hope to pull up 300, 400, 500 cases in a day and never forget the 3 or 4 close contacts for each of those. That just gets, you just can't do it.
I understand that our COVID normal is 0 cases according to the plan that you put out. So it's not 300. Why so low? Can you explain how that definition of our COVID normal came to be 0 when it's likely we might see 1 or 2 more cases?
Because if you don't get it down to low numbers, you won't keep it at low numbers.
0 is not low. It's 0.
Well, but it's not. Yeah, but this is the key point. It's not about every day for the next 12 months has to be 0. And if it was 1 case, we would lock the place down. No, it's simply this. If you don't give your public health team a fair fight, if you say, righto, everyone wants to open, let's open, even though there's known cases, say at 25 cases a day, and there's always more cases out there than you know, because not everyone who's symptomatic gets tested. Mystery cases are by their own nature. They are mysteries, and every mystery case there's at least someone else who they got it from and their close contacts. Let's open up even though we know there's well more than 25 cases a day. There's plenty of virus out there. And then you just go and chase all that, will you? You go and do something that is incredibly challenging, but we'll let everyone go back and do everything normal. If that was an option, of course you'd choose that because it'd mean you'd be open quicker. But you wouldn't be open for very long. So you've got to get the numbers down very low. But there will, as I've said all along, there will be cases as part of the COVID normal. There will be outbreaks. But if you aim to keep those numbers low, then you have to first get them low so that our tracing team, our public health response, our hospitals, everybody involved has got a fair chance of being able to do that. The numbers that Alan just quoted to you in terms of New South Wales didn't open at 50 cases a day or 25 cases a day. They opened at less than 5 cases a day, and then they're able to pounce on those outbreaks, and that's exactly the position that we're going to get to. And Colac would tell you we're very, very close to getting to that point. The regional Victorian numbers, the fact that we are under the 5 cases a day now, in regional Victoria. Rich asked me about hope. Everybody in Melbourne can look to the situation in regional Victoria and say that the strategy's working, and they're about to take steps based on science and data and modelling and their hard work. And that's exactly the position that Metropolitan Melbourne will get into. It'll take a little bit longer because that's the nature. The outbreak here is different. The wave here is different. But what's about to happen in regional Victoria is a positive thing. It's the strategy working, and it should be a great reassurance to Metropolitan Melbourne that we can get these numbers down. When you get them low, you can keep them low. That's what's happening in regional Victoria at the moment.